It's hump day at Cruisin the Coast down here, Rhino. Appreciate all the great automobile-related tunes. Joining us now on the stage is the mayor of the great city of Biloxi in Mississippi, Andrew Fofo Gillich. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Gerard, I appreciate being here. Always, it's a great pleasure to be with SuperTalk and everything. You know, it's always, enjoyable to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. But specifically today, these cars and these memories and this excitement, I think. And really, very cool, very cool.
It's so fantastic. It's got to be a great feeling, Mayor, to showcase the fine city of Biloxi.
It is, and it always has been. It's just a pleasure to, for me personally, and the childhood place that I love, and now for our kids and our grandkids to do what's right, and 100 years from now maybe still be talking about back in the old days when those cars were in the 50s and 60s and 40s and 30s. Yeah. But to me, I look around and I can, just look at the headlights and look at the valve covers. I used to build model cars.
Me too.
And literally, you could look at it. One always was a Buick nailhead. Where the valve covers went straight up and down. So, and I'm just, nobody formally said, learn this, but you learned it when you did it. So,
yeah, exactly.
And just look at that 39 right there, and look at it.
Is that incredible?
Yeah, look at that 59 over that Cadillac that's about 35 feet long.
That's beautiful, and about 40 feet wide.
That's right.
And right next to it is kind of my favorite category, and that's an SS Camaro. That looks like what, 67, 68, 69 series. The yellow one right next to the Cadillac.
Oh yeah. That's a 67. That's a 67.
67.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I always wanted one of those when I was in high school.
Especially with the 396 big block in. I'm telling you.
Which would have been dumb for my parents to let me have that. I'm afraid it's like a motor with a saddle on it.
You remember not a lot of seat belts back then.
That's exactly right. Didn't have all the seat belts and all the safety stuff and the airbags and all that stuff. Just brute force power. But man, they sure were a lot of fun. You'd have to juice them up with the glass packs. And, right. Remember all the aftermarket products. Was it Hearst that made the shifts? And somebody made special brakes. Can't remember. And the clutches.
And everybody, it was cool if you had moon eyes.
That's right.
Moon equip. And Iskandarian and Cam too. I got all this on one of my old mirrors in my bedroom set. It's in my mother's house right now. But moon equipped and Iskandarian cams and B&M hydro transmissions. Anyway, I'm going back.
But it's great. We got to applaud these enthusiasts for preserving all this history.
Oh yeah. Like you said, about thousands, economy, and I see my good buddy John Toothman, who bailed me out of every project I was in, since I got into getting some of these old cars. But the expertise, and it's wild. You can tell those guys that know, can just listen to about something click in the valve cover. You know what you got to do, or temperature and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But
what's going on in the city here, Mayor?
Everything. We've had another pretty good gaming year, and through 4.3 million visitors a year, 7,000 hotel rooms. The rest of the country's been through some struggles, and we do too. But it's it's amazing that we're in the economic position that we're in, and be able to make sure year after year after year. It's hard to break a record every year, but we've done it 3 years in a row.
It's unbelievable.
And and we're not the only benefit. I've talked to some of our from the higher up. So how we go, they go. The money's go way up there. And so just let us, in business, you press, you give me some money, I'll make you more money.
That's right.
Okay, and that's the position that I'm in.
That's right.
And that's always a challenge, but that's okay. Business is business, and business has rules.
No doubt about it.
Politics has none, or very few. But we're in good shape, I think.
So when you look at sales tax diversions, because I'm noticing that for the first few months of the year here, we're in month 3 now? We just completed, I guess, month 3, July 1, August, September. So
first
quarter.
year.
Yeah. But a fiscal year 24 in the state. But looking at sales tax collections, those are actually up, meaning I'm assuming your diversions are up.
Yeah. Well,
revenues up a little bit.
We look at it October to October. October.
Yeah.
But
year.
In looking at and do the mathematics.
My
sales tax was, my return, about 18% was
that's a diversion.
$14.5 million.
Yeah.
Do the arithmetic. You divide that. We sent $100-something million up there.
I got sent you 18% back.
Yeah. And so you know what the deal is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So hey, we always have challenge with public safety and the ability to service the people that are here. You look around within a mile. I got 6,000 hotel rooms. Okay, and they're filled on the weekends every weekend. So we're not a 50,000 population town. We're 100,000.
That's true.
And so it's hard for people to recognize I need infrastructure. I need service support. I need those kinds of AMR response or emergency responses. You just don't do that with just looking at population. You look at the business aspects, and that's a challenge for us, for Biloxi, to say, okay, man, this is for real. We want to make sure these people just are dying to come here every weekend, every cruising, every Mardi Gras, every St. Patrick's Day, those kinds of things. We just went over, and I don't mean to take a breath, but this is a real not a challenge, but to get the word. This is what's complicated, but it's not complicated when you look at every aspect of business here in Biloxi and the tourism business and the quality of life business.
Now, you and I both come from the technology world, and we were privileged to service the city of Biloxi for many years. My company was with lots of technology projects. This artificial intelligence and quantum computing, supercomputing, is absolutely taking off like a rocket and is being injected into every phase of society. What are you seeing? How do you see that benefiting municipalities?
Oh, it will benefit. You know that when you have 30,000 processors, sharing some memory, and because I came up, my first job was at Control Data Corporation. I worked on the CDC 6600. I did my homework on the CDC 6600 at the University of Houston, and it was it had 8 peripheral processors and then one big 64-bit. That one exchange jump, you're actually into another program.
Right.
So that was the beginning of supercomputing. Now you multiply that 8 processors by thousands, and it happens. And now you can segment the tasks that need to be done, and you deposit that. You say, everybody go compute this, and come back and put that here, and then I'm going to take my. The challenge in software is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But then the software. You have some flexibility in the horsepower you can put on a task, and I hate that mental gymnastics. I love that stuff.
Well, that's been the cat and mouse game since you and I've been in the business, right?
Yep.
Software gets more powerful, demands faster and more performance hardware, and then we get that, and then we create more software, which is a good thing. So they drive
challenge it. You just look at it. You remember the old days where you had all the AC pumped up through the floor, through these little decks.
That's right.
Now I visited NOAA, and they're always in a mode of having one that's implemented to do all these tasks, these pretty much DOD and batch tasks.
Yep.
But they're always going from one cycle to the other. When they get one, they say, I've got a plan to get one of those, one generation old supercomputers, and we're going to do some serious cloud computing and some serious kind of, AI kinds of things.
Man, I got to tell you, I hadn't heard controlled data. It's been a long time since I heard that. A lot of people aren't familiar with that, but kind of the original makers of supercomputers.
No, it was.
Original
Seymour Cray.
That's right, Cray Computer.
Yeah, Cray.
And we got one up at the Waterways Experiment Station.
Absolutely.
In Vicksburg, Mississippi.
And literally, it was, to me, I'm 21 years old. I started when I was in 1968 with them, and it was in a data center.
Yeah.
And they did almost all the geophysical processing for PIMX and everybody. I mean, reservoir engineering and all that was wind up. The output was a CalComp plotter.
Right.
Okay, and you knew where the things was. And then there was some geophysical processing where you.
So cool.
It was cool.
That's so cool. But we're gonna see this artificial intelligence.
No question.
You guys are good. I mean, municipalities, everybody is going to benefit from this. But we got to be careful. We got to be responsible.
No, we do. But we got to be, because just look at the strikes that have happened over across with the Singing River and MGM.
Yeah.
But now you're in a mode where you have the horsepower to identify patterns that are not normal.
That's right.
Look at IP addresses that normally sign onto your box.
That's right. At a speed at which they can thwart those attempts to attack, and so it's a cat and mouse game.
No, it is. It's very cool stuff, though.
Before you go, you got all the ingredients here, Mayor, in the city of Biloxi to really produce a fantastic quality of life. You got great health care, you got great schools, you got great infrastructure. I know that's a constant chase, but you do a great job with that. You got great law enforcement, low crime. It's a good place to live.
No, it is great. It's the greatest for me. I just smile all the time. With our heritage, we just had the president of Croatia visit here.
Yeah, saw that
last week, and right in the middle of our golf tournament, which is the biggest 4-ball in the country.
Yep.
But anyway, it's just so happy. We're just so happy.
It's awesome, and of course, I'm partial because I'm married to Biloxi girl,
right.
about 2 blocks from here in Nativity, BVU.
You're right there. You're right there.
Mayor, appreciate you coming on, sir. We'll talk to you again.
Call me anytime, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.